Warhammer 40k is constantly increasing in popularity, and with that popularity come a lot of people that want to actually see a movie of Warhammer, something that truly captures the grim darkness of the far future, and displays the true horror that you have to go through if you want to survive space travel throughout the warp. But what if I were to tell you that that kind of movie already exists? The only issue with it is that it's not actually in a Warhammer 40k setting. But let me tell you right now that it is scarily close to the setting that it might as well be canon. In this video, I'd like to talk to you about a movie called The Event Horizon from 1997, and why it is the perfect Warhammer 40k movie without even being in 40k. So what is the movie about? The Event Horizon is about a ship called the Event Horizon that was made as a stepping stone for humanity's goal to traverse the stars further than our own solar system. But it has disappeared and only now returned after 7 years of no contact. A small crew gets sent to the ship to investigate what happened to the vessel itself and its previous crew. And as they board the vessel and slowly discover what has really happened to it, they have to battle the madness that the ship itself brought with it, causing everyone present to fight their own insecurities and fears, as the ship itself seems to want them to turn into madness. A really big mystery throughout the movie is trying to find out where did the Event Horizon even go for those 7 years. And for the beginning of the movie, this is truly all they know about it.
USAC intercepted a radio transmission from a decaying orbit around Neptune. The source of this transmission has been identified as the Event Horizon.
So if the ship didn't blow up, then what happened?
Well, the mission was going perfectly like a textbook. They reached safe distance using conventional thrusters. All systems looked good. They had the go-ahead to use the gravity drive to open the gateway to Proxima Centauri. And then they just disappeared, vanished without a trace. Until now.
Where's she been for the last 7 years, Doctor?
That's what we're here to find out.
But to really display where the Event Horizon has been, we first need to talk about one of the characters through the movie. Somebody called Dr. Weir. Now, Dr. Weir is the architect of the Event Horizon. He is the one that made the ship, which is something he is incredibly proud of and constantly kind of flexes on towards the crew.
That's the core of the gravity drive. The heart of the ship.
A black hole, the most destructive force in the universe. And you've created one.
Absolutely yes, because we can use that immense power to bend space-time. It'll take the Lewis and Clark 1,000 years to reach our nearest star. But the Event Horizon could be there in a day.
If it worked.
You can come down, it's perfectly safe.
This ship is clearly his pride and joy, and whenever he gets questioned about what the ship actually is doing, he constantly replies like it is bruising his ego, as if criticism towards the ship is criticism towards him. Watch him snap back every time somebody says something about the ship. I'll show you some examples real quick.
It was liquid, and the whole cords turned south.
It's just not physically possible.
That's
The
what I
gateway
saw.
couldn't be opened because the gravity drive wasn't activated.
Look, I'm telling you what I saw, Doc, so what the
It can't
fuck?
just
Nobody's
start
talking
up
to
by
you.
itself.
Give me
It's-
About an hour ago, I saw my son lying on the examination table.
You don't mind my saying so.
Crawling.
It sounds a little like shock. Could it be that you're traumatized by seeing the body
No,
of a...
excuse me, no!
I don't need to say anything, sir, but I can tell you. This ship is fucked.
Well, thank you for that scientific analysis, Mr. Smith.
Yeah, we don't.
But it's not just that pride that really sets him apart from the rest of the cast. Since the beginning of the movie, he is starting to get weird visions that only seem to be getting worse and worse as he remains on the Event Horizon. The rest of the crew also suffers from that effect, but truly it is Dr. Weir that falls for it the hardest. Now, what really makes Dr. Weir so interesting during the events of the movie is that he is the one that is going the most bonkers the fastest, eventually fully losing himself and pretty much selling his soul to the ship. Look at how he looks like now. Look at this incredibly mentally stable man. Later on in the movie, after he has a little bit of a tussle with Captain Miller, they do quite a huge reveal of what happened to Dr. Weir.
Weir?
You cannot tell me that this does not look like a Chaos Cultist. It fits the description perfectly to a T. And now that he looks like a Chaos Cultist, here is how he describes the place that the Event Horizon has been in.
She tore a hole in our universe, a gateway to another dimension. A dimension of pure chaos. Pure evil. When she crossed over, she was just a ship. But when she came back, she was alive. Look at her, Miller. Isn't she beautiful? She's defied space and time. She's been to a place you couldn't possibly imagine. Hell is only a word. The reality is much, much worse.
The dude name-dropped chaos. His description and the small imagery that we actually do see of the place perfectly fits with the warp from Warhammer 40k. So my belief of this movie is that the Event Horizon never really operated through wormhole or black hole travel. Rather, it made humanity's very first warp jump. And without the protection of the Emperor, or the help of a navigator, it was basically open season for any and all demons willing to partake in playing with the damn thing. You can make this movie canon for 40k and display this as humanity's very first direct interaction with chaos. So a brief summary of the things that we have in this movie that very closely to almost perfectly resemble the 40k setting is that there is an active chaos cultist. The ship has slowly turned into a warp entity. The ship itself traveled through something that is labeled as utter chaos, which is practically the warp, and the crew gets put in a nearly impossible situation that requires every bit of knowledge and strength that they need in order to survive, which all in all makes for a great movie, especially for 40k. And speaking of the rest of the crew, throughout the movie you see them doing something that horror usually doesn't do, and that is portray them as actual competent people. You see them actively work on their jobs and do their tasks very successfully. Errors only really occurring when the ship itself is starting to give them visions. There's of course one moment where there is a character like, oh wow, hey, this weird little thing happening super far away in a hallway. I better just walk that direction and see what happens. That's a little silly, but for the rest, if you especially focus on Captain Miller as the main protagonist, it is incredibly gratifying to watch a main character actually be very good at what they do in a horror movie. The movie Event Horizon might not have bolters, space marines, or the Emperor, but it doesn't really need them. It already captures the terror of the unknown, the corruption of chaos, and the bleakness of space travel in a way that very few 40k products have managed to do. So maybe we don't need a 40k movie, when we already have the perfect one right here since 1997. Do let me know in the comments if you agree, or if you have become interested in watching the movie. Are there any other films that very much resemble the 40k aesthetic as well? Let me know and I would love to give it a watch. Leave a subscribe, hit the comment, and give us a like. Thank you for watching, I'll see you later.